YouTubers, I'm on my way to work. It's really early, and I thought I would tell you a story about one of my nightmare rides. I'm sure you guys have had nightmare rides, so tell me all about your own nightmare ride. But I'll give you a little story about a nightmare ride I had. It started with my stepdaughter's graduation in Pittsburgh. So I'm going to drive my bike from Atlanta to Pittsburgh. And my wife convinced me that I should not do it all in one trip. I should stop at my father's place in Winston, Salem, North Carolina on the way and sleep there and then take off in the morning, you know. So I go, alright, why not? So I take off towards my father's place. It's normally a 4.5 hour ride over there. But this time, as soon as I hit Gwinnett County, it started torrential downpour. I mean, tree limbs crossing the road kind of downpour. And I'm the stubborn asshole, so I said, fuck it, I'll just keep going. Well, I was riding with the front, so the front followed me all the way to Winston-Salem. Torrential downpour for basically six and a half hours. It took a lot longer with this rain. And a couple times I stopped contemplating getting a motel room. But I kept going, and I got close. I got to within about a mile of my father's place. Still pouring down rain. This woman pulls in, well, not pulls in front, it changes lanes in front of me on the road, which leaves me no choice but to pull into the breakdown lane to keep from hitting her. And that wouldn't have been a problem, except apparently I cut something on my tire while I was in the breakdown lane, my rear tire. Didn't even really notice it, started losing air. Pulled up to the ramp, you know, off the highway. When I was taking off, I felt a little squishy, but you know, there was 1.5 inches of water on the road, so I assumed everything's squishy. But when I came out of the store I stopped at, about a half mile from my father's place, he had, I walked out and my tire was flat. My bike was sitting on its rim. Man, talk about some disappointment there. I was ill. So I push it over to the air pump and fill it up, and I can hear the air coming out just about as fast as it's going in. And so I just let it fill up as much as it will take, a little bit overfilled, but that's okay. Jumped on the bike, hauled ass to my father's place, so over a half a mile, racing the air out of my tire. I start feeling the valve stem just as I'm pulling in my father's driveway. So I saved the rim, destroyed the tire, which it was screwed anyway. The problem is I had planned on taking off at 7 in the morning from my father's place to continue the last leg of my journey on up to Pittsburgh. But that wasn't in the cards because I had to get a new tire first. Bike stores don't open until 10, so I couldn't even find out who had a tire that would fit my bike until 10. The first tow truck I called didn't have a flatbed, and we're going to try to jerk the bike up by its collar. This was a big VTX 1300. This is not a little sport bike that you can do that to. And so I was like, hey, don't do that. Let's get a flatbed. So I had to wait on another flatbed, another record to show up. Finally get over to the place to get my tire done, and it takes till like 3 in the afternoon before I get all this handled and get the tire, and I'm actually on the road again. Which meant that on my way to Pennsylvania, I end up going through the West Virginia mountains at night in the fog. Man, was that tough. Like 2.5 hours, I rode 20 miles an hour with my windscreen up, wiping my glasses every 5 seconds. And my shoulders were on fire from just balancing a bike going that slow for that long. I finally emerged from all that craziness. Get to the other side, I'm on the highway. It's still kind of miserable and wet and kind of foggy and rainy, misty kind of thing going on. And I'm finally getting up to the exit where my hotel is. I'm going to be staying. I'm looking for, I've just been, for the last like 30, 40 minutes, all I've been thinking about is the longest, hottest shower known to man. And I'm just on my way, trying not to speed. I get on the ramp, I'm pulling up to the ramp, I see the hotel, and I'm like, oh, I need to take a left to get over to the hotel. So I'm waiting on this car to pass. The car keeps slowing down more and more. And I'm like, what are you doing? There's a cop coming up behind me. I'm like, this is not good. It's late at night, I'm on a bike with out-of-state plates. And now I'm gonna have to start looking like I'm doing something weird because I'm waiting on this car. I'm waiting on them to pull out. I'm trying to slow down to time it so I can pull out in front of them without having to stop, but no deal. They stop right in front of me. And I'm put my feet down, I look up. My stepdaughter pops her head out of the window of the car and says, hey, the hotel's that way, you missus, follow us. They're going the opposite direction, but I'm thinking maybe they know a shortcut. Maybe my wife is actually in the car with them and they're going out and I need to follow them to there before I go back to the hotel. I don't know. So I follow them, and they start to get back on the highway going the original direction I was already going in. And they see me following them, they pull off, and they're like, oh, the hotel's back there. I'm like, yeah, I knew that. I was going to come up here and turn around and go back over there. But you guys said follow you, so I followed you, and now I'm coming down this ramp. And I have to get back on the interstate, because I know that cop's around. I'm not going to go backwards up the ramp, even if it is just about 20 yards. So I end up having to add another 20 minutes to my ride as I go down and find the next exit and turn around and come back and then find the hotel. It was like, hey, your ride wasn't bad enough. We're going to add 20 minutes of hell to the end of it. Next morning I woke up, beautiful blue skies, had a nice ride around Pittsburgh, and everything was good from there. Stepdaughter graduated, it was all happy. Nature really tried to keep me from making that ride. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Okay, YouTubers, that's it. I'll talk to you another time. Peace.